Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Black Enterprises Inside the Studio. Today, we're going inside It's Bigger Than Me campaign's newest launch, Inclusive Obesity Care. The program aims to improve healthcare for the entire obesity community. And taking us inside the campaign is It's Bigger Than Me's megastar ambassador, the one and only Queen Latifah. How are you?
Oh, just queening, just queening. It's
Sitting on a
nice.
throne, you know what I mean? Just something light, something light. Um, so I'm speaking with you today about the new initiative, It's Bigger Than Me campaign is launched, Inclusive Obesity Care.
Mhm.
Um, Tell us about the new initiative and why it was launched and your involvement with it.
The inclusive obesity care movement is about, spotlighting the need for an environment of care free of judgment, free of shame, free of stigma. And so I partner with Novo Nordisk, who works with a slew of fantastic doctors. Um, Everyone came up with this, they came up with this symbol that would signify uh, an environment of that, just that, a safe, respectful, compassionate environment. And so whenever you see that symbol, then you know you're in a safe place to be. And this is what we want to see at doctors' offices because obesity is a medical condition and you need to be able to seek seek healthcare and good healthcare, safe healthcare, compassionate healthcare that is designed not just for any one type of person, but for all people. So something like having blood pressure cuffs that are the right size for everyone, chairs that work for everyone, larger doors, larger gowns. I mean, we take these things for granted, but people dealing with obesity often they don't have these things. Um, I remember one of my relatives who dealt with obesity. It was like you had to tie several gowns together, So every time she had to deal with a medical facility, we would have these conversations and, the truck she had to drive and some of the things that she went through, I just don't think people were cognizant of.
Right.
And their thought probably when they saw her, even though she had like the personality was unbelievable, but I'm sure they're thinking, oh, she just needs to lose some weight or she needs to not eat so much. They have no idea what her life entailed. I, as a cousin, knew her much better and knew how many challenges she had faced and what the ups and downs were of her life. And so for me, it's a personal thing in that sense. Um, and I know the things that I faced out in my professional life and in my personal life as well. So people just need to deal more compassionately and more respectfully in general, and especially with those who face obesity, which is 4 out of 10 Americans, by the way. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know who we think we are, but we should really, you know, think about who we are. Like really consciously think about what we're saying, what we're putting out there, and how we could make it a better world. And this is one way to do it.
Right. You touched on some of the ways of, just things that are missing for the obesity community. What are some other areas you think that the medical field could improve on when it comes to caring for obesity patients?
I think they can improve on their own education about what obesity actually is.
Mhm.
And I think they could really do a little more homework on how to speak to patients, how to care for patients, how to make a welcoming environment, and do their homework.
Mhm.
Really do your homework. I know that oddly enough, the body is not always treated as a whole thing, the wholeness of it all. There's segments, and you don't get everything in those years of school. You have to continue that education. Um, I have people in the medical profession in my family, and I've dealt with some amazing doctors. And to me, the best ones are the ones who constantly are educating themselves, reading the latest research, staying up on what the latest things are, so that they can treat their patients better.
Right.
and I think that that's important. And obviously bedside manner is something that's very important as well. Just being kind to your patient who may be nervous to even walk through the door. We often talk about men and how men are scared to go to doctors. Okay, well, take that whole idea and apply that to someone who has obesity
Right.
and what they might be thinking and how what it may have taken to come through the door. And then 66% of people uh, had who've been treated with shame and stigma has had that happen for the first time at their doctor's office. That is unacceptable.
Right.
So doctors have to use a measure of compassion. And I know they do so much hard work every day to fight for our lives, to save lives, to create a better environment of health. But this is part of the job,
Right.
is to be compassionate to your patients and really help them through those through with their health journey.
Right. I feel like now, more than before, we're just as a society, we're getting a better understanding that body size doesn't equate to health. Just, you could be a
No,
small thing and not be healthy. And
I've
oftentimes,
seen it.
you know, and
Hmm.
oftentimes what hinders us from living healthier lives is time. But
Hmm.
you're constantly on the go. How do you work to stay on top of health with such a demanding schedule?
It is challenging. It's challenging, I won't lie. But when I get an opportunity, I take time out for me. I have to, and even if it's taking a bath, I take more baths. I'm conscious of those kinds of things. I may not be able to do the big things that I like to do, which is, you know, go to Switzerland for a month and escape the world. You know what I mean? And be spoiled for a minute. Can't do that. That's not
Mhm.
realistic. But what I can do is take 5 minutes in the morning and breathe, or 3 minutes for myself to just breathe.
Right.
I can take a bath at night to calm myself down. I may treat myself to a massage, to relieve my pressure, my tension. I may watch something funny before I go to bed or something comedic, something that leaves me with a good mood before I fall asleep, or read a book instead of watching anything at all. Whatever it takes to get to calm my spirit, to calm myself, to do
Mhm.
what I have to, whether it's praying,
Right.
whatever it is I need to do, I do it. Even if it's aromatherapy, spraying something, that instantly changes my mindset.
Right.
And definitely not delving into worlds that just take me into a wormhole of just the same thing over and over. And I try not to read the negative stuff. I try not to read too much of it at all, unless I'm going there purposely, because people have, people are hurting a lot, and people feel powerless in a lot of ways. And what they do is send it out there because they have the power behind those keys to say whatever they want to do. We don't know who we're really reading. We don't know who we're really listening to half the time, there. So we have to be conscious of what we allow into our space and into our minds. And we have to protect ourselves from the negative energy and try to seek the positive.
I love how you said that because oftentimes we forget that taking a bath is maintaining your health. Okay, so for my last question, I'll ask because I recently spoke with Dougie Fresh, who he stressed the
What?
importance. Okay, okay.
Oh, whoa, wait. Uh,
He stressed the importance of health when it comes to live performances, and particularly with the breath work in hip hop. You sing, rap, we already know, act. Is that something that you can attest to?
Yes, definitely. You have to train. I have some shows coming up and I'm about to start doing the same thing. But, it was normal to get on the treadmill and say all your rhymes. That's been a normal thing for me. Or now getting on the bike more so, and saying all my rhymes as well as singing the hooks and learning how to breathe properly. It takes training, because we are saying a lot and we're moving as well. And I know Doug, he's the beatbox. He's the beatboxer, so he has to stay up on his lung work and make sure he's strong. But he's always been he's always been a very fit person and always a health conscious person, and I've always admired that about him. Um, but yeah, I mean, everybody I know has to train. We all
Yes.
into the zone before we know we're going on tour. Extra, just to make sure we're ready when we hit the stage, because improvisation is also part of being on stage. So you never know what's going to happen. You
Yes.
got to be ready to go for that encore.
I know, and you did. You guys shut it down at the Grammys. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank
Just thank you
you.
for queening for us, for helping to inspire the next generation of queens.
That's right. More
You have
importantly,
always served as an inspiration for me, and I'm just so honored to have spoken to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.